Hey guys, welcome to another video. And in today's video, we should see a very interesting game in the London system. In this particular position, my opponent playing the white pieces played bishop takes h7. And it came as a huge surprise to me. I was like, have I just blundered something? Or has my opponent just gone crazy? So I played king takes h7, queen h5 check, king g8, and after knight e4, I was in complete shock. I was absolutely terrified because white just has this move knight e5 followed by queen h7. And it looks like white is simply winning. Is he or is he not? Stay tuned and we shall find out very shortly. So this game was played back in the day when we used to play over the board chess. Okay, so it was played in the year 2019. I was playing the black pieces. A student of mine was playing white, a really talented student. And he started off with d4, which was no surprise because he generally plays the queen's pawn game. And for d5, he played bishop f4. So my opponent plays the London system here, which is generally considered as a very slow and boring opening. As we shall see, in this particular game, it's not really that way. So I played knight f6, he played e3, I went e6. And I mean, as black, I'm just looking to go for very simple development here. C5, gain some space, probably knight c6, bishop d6. Nothing out of the ordinary and nothing too complicated, And white just plays c3. C3 is a very important move in the London because you want to be developing your bishop to d3, but you also want to keep the bishop on this diagonal. So, you have this extra square on c2 for the bishop. So I played knight c6, just developing a piece, bishop d3, bishop d6, and white goes bishop g3. This is a move you see very often in the London. If black captures, bishop takes g3, white can play h takes g3, and white gets a very nice open file with some pressure on the h7 pawn as well. So I didn't do that. I went castles. My opponent played knight b d2, and I played the move queen e7. Just developing and trying to complete my development with bishop d7 probably. So my opponent played the move knight e5 here. So after white goes knight e5, he has a beautiful little outpost for the knight. And as black, you can't go knight takes e5 because that would just mean that you end up forking your pieces here and a piece down. And if you go bishop takes e5, probably white can go bishop takes e5, and maybe it's not so pleasant. It's not so pleasant for black. You kind of want your bishop on d6 because this is the good piece. So what I did as black is I just played the move knight d7 without much thought. The idea being, just pressurize white a little on the e5 square. Probably in future, black's looking to go f6 as well. After a little thought, my opponent played the move knight takes d7. And to be honest, I was a little surprised because, white is just giving up a piece that he has taken so much effort to get to e5, and he just exchanges it in one move. So I was a little perplexed by this move. And I played the move bishop takes d7 almost instantly. And the move bishop takes d7 is a blunder. But guys, I'm not alone. As of today, we have 84 recorded games in the database, and some really strong players like Sam Shankland, Stefanova, Sarana, all these guys have fallen in this trap. So bishop d7 it's a very normal looking move. But then white just goes bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, and pawn takes c5. So white is up a pawn. The most natural move here is just capturing back, right? You capture back the pawn. And then we come to the position that we started off with. Can white play the move bishop takes h7? And the answer is yes, the Greek gift. But this is a very different variant of the Greek gift. It's not just a queen and rook checkmate or a queen and knight checkmate. White can go bishop takes h7, and for king takes h7, white just goes queen h5 check, king g8, and knight e4. So the entire point of white exchanging pieces was to actually bring the black queen on c5 and exploit the spin, you know. So with knight e4, I had to move my queen somewhere, and I played queen c4. My opponent played knight g5. Okay, so for those of y'all guys who are wondering, queen c4 is not the only move. Black can play g6, but g6 is bad because white just goes knight takes c5, pawn takes queen, and after knight takes d7, white is simply up a pawn. As you can see, white has 7 pawns versus black 6. White is just completely better. So obviously I did consider this, but I played the move queen c4, and my opponent played knight g5. So white is threatening a checkmate on h7, and black is forced to play the move rook f d8, because I mean, if you don't play rook f d8 and you move anywhere else, like let's say rook f c8, white goes queen check and can just probably capture this bishop, and he's up way too much material. So in this position, I played the move rook f d8. White played queen takes f7, king h8, queen h5 check. And in this position, my opponent chickened out and he repeated the moves. But let's see what could have happened. In this position, there's an amazing game between Gata Kamsky and Sam Shankland, in which rook d1 was featured. But let's just have a look and see, if white just plays the move queen h7, he still has quite a bit of an advantage, because black has to play king f8, queen h8 check, king e7, white captures his second pawn, and then plays the move knight f7 check, king c7, knight takes d8, knight takes d8. And, there is a material imbalance here. White has a rook and 3 pawns for the bishop and knight, for the 2 minor pieces. And generally, this would be in favor of the rook, because 3 pawns with extremely dangerous pass pawns is completely better for white. So this is the trap that I fell into. Lucky for me, my opponent didn't go for this. He didn't press for the win, because he was considerably lower rated. He was satisfied with a draw in this position, and we had a repetition here with king h8. This I was lucky. You may not be so lucky. So it is important to know this trap. The London, after all, is it boring? I don't think so. If you like this video, definitely hit a like, and don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. See you next time.